Hello, everyone. I hope you've got your MMO pants on. We are going to talk today about Era of Legends. This is a new MMO that is that has been out in China and Southeast Asia for a few months now. Is just starting to release to the West in March of this year, 2019. It's already available as an early access version to a few select countries in Europe and the Americas, and will be releasing worldwide within the next couple of weeks in March of 2019. So let's go ahead and just say what it is right up front. This is, for all intents and purposes, a WoW clone. I think the developers are not trying to hide that fact at all. They are bringing you the best version of WoW they could bring to the mobile platforms. So if you've ever thought to yourself, hey, I wish I could play World of Warcraft on my phone while I'm on the go, this game is going to bring you to the closest thing possible you'll probably ever get to that. My first impressions of this game have been very, very surprisingly surprisingly good. I've been loving this game, like, not just because of the WoW aspects, but also because of all the polish and how well it runs, the gameplay. Like, everything about this game has impressed me up to this point. I've got about, I don't know, 3-4 hours of gameplay in, so I'm not too far. This is strictly a first impressions video. Let's go ahead and start. Let's talk about the classes. Okay, so they have basically the races and classes from World of Warcraft. They don't have Horde and Alliance. They just have one specific race for every class. So you have what looks to be like a Tauren/Orc warrior, a Troll shaman right here, a Gnome mage, I believe a human priest. I'm just kind of guessing. I don't really know if these races are what. The Troll is definitely clear. The Troll shaman is definitely clear. Human priest, blood elf, assassin. Then you have the, I believe, Draenei witch, night elf, hunter, and I believe also a night elf druid. Hard to say whether or not the druid is supposed to be a night elf and what the witch/warlock is supposed to be exactly. I would say, I guess this is a Draenei right here. It's the closest thing I could. I don't know. Or a demon. Maybe it's just supposed to be a straight up demon, succubus type thing. Anyway, those are the classes, races, and classes you get to work with, and they all function pretty close to the same as they do in World of Warcraft. The hunter has a pet. You know, the druid can polymorph into, or shapeshift rather, into a cat or a bear tank. You know, assassin can stealth. Warlock has a Voidwalker pet. Priest has the priest stuff, and so on and so forth. It's World of Warcraft on your phone. Let's just call it that. That is what it is. Okay. That aside, even if it had nothing to do with World of Warcraft, if World of Warcraft were not a thing, this is by far the best feeling mobile MMO I've played to date. I played quite a few of them. I've tried out I actually played for quite a bit the Lineage 2 Revolution MMO game. Which, I mean, I'm kind of not too proud of that. It's not the greatest game in the world. Um, and actually, I think that's the only mobile MMO. Oh, Devilian. Devilian, I guess you could call that a mobile MMO. I also played Devilian and a few other of those types. And this is definitely the best running, best feeling, and the only game that actually has come close to actually feeling like an MMO in the mobile space so far. So yeah, and then also the graphics. This is definitely the best looking of the mobile MMOs that I've ever seen. Like the graphics are really, really clean for a mobile game, and there's hardly ever any stuttering. Even when you have, I think the maximum you can see on the screen at once is 30 other players. But even when you have a full area, like when you're next to the bank, it's basically very smooth. You get a little bit of FPS drop, maybe it drops around to the 30-ish area, but other than that, it's great. I am truly impressed by this game. Um, the world. The world is it's not huge. It's definitely not the size of World of Warcraft at launch. And that let's talk about World of Warcraft at launch. This is the other thing, the other feel that I'm getting about this. Like it kind of feels like a vanilla World of Warcraft. Like I truly feel like I'm jumping into vanilla World of Warcraft when I'm playing this game. So yeah, the map is about the size of what I would say is the Eastern Kingdoms. Almost kind of a little bit. You can almost kind of see a little bit of Eastern Kingdoms in the map right there. It's a pretty big map for a mobile game, for sure. And I'm sure they're going to be expanding on it in the future. But yeah, this is the map that we're looking at. Each area is quite large, and it's a really beautiful map to explore. And then next, let's talk about the guilds. Okay, so of course, in an MMO, you're going to want to join a guild. And this is something that World of Warcraft doesn't have with their guilds is territories. That's kind of a thing in most mobile MMO spaces these days. I think almost all mobile MMOs have like a territory siege PvP type system where you go and you try to take over a territory and you get extra benefits for your guild for keeping control of those territories, which you can see on the map here. Looks like I haven't actually counted them. Was that like 15 total? No, 13? 13 total territories. And as you get closer to the middle, you get more and more better rewards. There's 3 on each side, 3 of the smaller ones, and then 1 closer to the middle, and then 1 exactly in the middle. And they're ranked from bronze to gold based on their positioning. And that's the thing that I think has really got me interested, because I've always loved territory control PvP in MMOs, and I've always thought that should have been a thing in World of Warcraft, especially with the Orcs versus humans. I mean, Alliance versus Horde type thing. It's just like a huge missed opportunity, and I think they should have definitely done that in World of Warcraft. Let's stop talking about World of Warcraft though. Let's just keep talking about this game. We have auto questing and battling. Okay, that is in the game. There is auto questing, unfortunately, and auto battling, but it's not as bad as most of these other mobile MMOs where you do that for each and every part of the game. It's like available everywhere, and that's like all you do. You have only in the open world area you can do, for your open world questing, you can go into auto mode. Once you enter a dungeon or a raid, you have to go back you have to control your character manually. If you're in a dungeon or in a raid, it's all manual. You have to know your character, you have to know your abilities. And speaking on to that point, there's also, strict roles. Most of these other mobile MMOs, your character is basically self-sufficient and there aren't really specific roles. It's just all about who does the damage, doing your damage, and I mean that you might have a little bit more support than another guy, but you're not specifically a tank, you're not really a healer. You're just, you kind of have a very loose role there. But this game, you definitely have very specific rules. And you have very specific mechanics, which most other mobile MMOs don't have. So you have all the classic World of Warcraft mechanics. You know, stay out of the stuff, don't stand in the stuff, or you'll die. You got the tanks, the healers, and the DPSers. As far as I can tell, I think the druid is actually more specifically a tank, though there are different specs. You know, you have your druid, you have your tank spec, the bear spec. I think there's also the feral spec, which is like a DPS spec, and a healing spec for druid. I can't go into all the different specs. I haven't really learned them all quite yet, but yeah, every class does definitely have 3 specs, and they have all the different types of options based on off those specs. So let's talk about the dungeons again for a sec. The dungeons feel really good. They feel really challenging. I mean, not really challenging, and this is just. I mean, then I'm just in a level 10 dungeon, the very first dungeon you get to. But you know, you're not one-shotting things, and you have this is one of the other things that's really amazing about this game. You have what looks like um a very well-tuned DPS meter. And if you click the little arrow up here, you can switch it to damage done or healing done or damage taken and so on, which is, I believe, another thing that most other mobile MMOs don't really have. I mean, even World of Warcraft doesn't have that built into the game directly. So, bottom line, I'm impressed. I'm going to continue playing this game. I know a lot of you out there are probably saying mobile. Oh God. I mean, why would I want to play anything like this on my phone? I mean, for all of you PC players out there, I get it. I get it. But I mean, this is like, there's so many people. It's hard to believe that so many people don't know about emulators these days, though. Like, I'm obviously, if you haven't noticed, I'm obviously playing this from my PC on an emulator. And it runs really, really well, and it looks really, really good. You would think, yeah, you might think if you're not really familiar with emulators that, of course, yeah, you're playing it on your PC, it's going to look better. But no. Generally, emulating mobile games, it's going to look way worse on your PC, but this looks really good. It does look a lot better on my Samsung Galaxy S8, but this is definitely playable, and it looks really good on my PC. So you can play it on PC. Just because a game is mobile doesn't mean you're restricted to using your thumbs and holding your phone up to play it. Guarantee you 90% of the people in the top guilds will be playing this on PC with an emulator. So yeah, that's it. Era of Legends. The best feeling mobile game I've played to date, and I've played quite a few mobile games. I'm gonna keep playing this game. I will put out some more videos about the end game, about more detailed specifics about the classes and all the other systems in the game. And I know we're gonna get that question about pay to win. What I mean, I can't really tell you for sure right now. I'm pretty sure there are some pay to win aspects. It's a mobile game. Let's go ahead and say there are going to be pay to win aspects to this game. I don't think it's quite as ridiculous as some other games, but yeah, I've already seen inside the store. There's definitely a lot of stuff that you can buy, like extra dungeons, for example. You only get normally two two dungeons per day where you get loot, and then you can pay with whatever in-game currency, which you can actually buy with real life money to reset those those 2 tries per day and so on and so forth. So there's going to be some pay to win to this. I'm pretty sure. So if you're just absolutely 100% can't deal with pay to win, might not be the game for you. Me personally, I enjoy the challenge. Like I feel like I like to challenge myself to be as good as or try to be as good as the people that are dumping all their money into this game. I like to go into the game and be like, okay, I'm gonna get to the top of these leaderboards and not pay a dime and laugh my way all the way to the top as people spend thousands and thousands of dollars on the game. Because there's definitely a skill aspect to this. Like you can definitely outplay people. Like there's no auto combat in PvP or dungeons. Um, and there's a lot of control to the game. So yeah, I mean, in some ways it could be pay to win, but in other ways I believe it's you got to have some skill too, and skill can make up for not having much money. All right, babbled long enough. That was my first impression of Era of Legends. I hope to see you guys playing this game. I'm loving it. Try it out. Just give it a shot. I'm pretty sure you'll probably like it. If not, it's free. We'll see you next time with the next videos. I think next I'll be going into the classes, more specifics about the classes and skills. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out. GG's.